Guys, someone please help him. Okay, all right. I apologize. I apologize. There was a technical issue. Okay, so all right, all right. Okay, so my dear friends. Okay, got it. Thank you. So let's just see. So my dear friends, I have also uploaded the PDF for this. Okay, I have also uploaded the PDF for this particular topic. Okay, so you can find it even for the YouTube. Okay, you can find it. I have uploaded this PDF. So now let us just continue with this. Okay. See, here when I'm talking about the Sangam literature, here what has happened is that the whole, from this whole of the three Sangams, there is only going to be the means whatever we have in today's time as a part of Sangam literature, we are going to find it here in the Sangam, in the of the third Sangam. Now the whole of the Sangam literature, okay, it is going to cover various types of topics. That means that it is going to cover the religious aspect, it is going to cover the particular scientific aspect, means works on science, works on religion, works on philosophy, works on rituals, okay, and the other aspects, everything was covered in the Sangam literature. Now when we talk about the Sangam literature, in the Sangam literature there were various works. For example, there were certain grammatical works that were done. In the grammatical works, the Agatyam by Agatyar, it was considered to be one of the earliest works that were there. However, we have not found it. Then there is the Tolkapiyam. Okay, by the Tolkapiyar there was the Tolkapiyam. Now when we talk the whole of the Sangam literature, okay, means when we talk of the Sangam literature, it can be divided into two different parts. The first is known as Padine Kil Kanaku. Second is okay. Then there is the Pathine Male Kanaku and Pathine Kill Kanaku. So here you just have to focus on male and kill. Okay, male and key. Now what the examination will ask you is that the male, okay, these are what 18 major works, whereas these are 18 minor works. Okay, these are 18 minor works. Key means 18 minor works. These are 18 major works. So these are a collection of 18 works, and these 18 works, they are major works, and here these are a collection of minor works, 18 minor works, and they are known as Kilkanaku, and here it is Male Kanaku. So you just have to remember this. Then when we talk about epics, so like in the North India, there is going to be the Mahabharata, there is going to be the Ramayana. Similarly, here there were also certain epics that were there. So the first one is known as Silapadikaram. You can also rename it. It is known by various spellings. So you can just look it at Silapadikaram. Okay, it can be known as Silapadikaram or it can be known as Patti Karam. Okay, so like that also it can be known. Now this Silapadikaram, it is known by another name, that is known as the jeweled anklet. I will explain this up to you, do not worry. I will explain this up. I am just giving you the examination pointers right now, that the examination, what all things can it ask. Okay, the jeweled anklet. I'll give you the explanation just in some time. It is known as the jeweled anklet as well. The second is Mel Kanaku. Oh, sorry, Mani Mekhlai. Second is Mani Mekhlai. Mani Mekhlai, it is a sequel to the Silapadikaram. Mani Mekhlai, it is a sequel to the Silapadikaram. Now these are the various epics that are there in South India, and they are a part of Sangam literature. Now these particular epics, they were written by some personalities. So we'll also have to know that, which will know in some time in between in the below aspect. Now let us first understand the Sangam history. The Sangam history. Now we know that whenever we talk about the Sangam age, there are three major dynasties that are going to be there: Cheras, Cholas, and Pandyas. Now they are going to be in South India. Now when we talk about the South India at that point of time, it was the Sangam geography. Now this particular Sangam geography, okay, it was divided in between these three kingdoms. Now in these three kingdoms also, there were certain regions that were made at that point of time. That means the whole of the Tamilakam. When we talk the whole of the Tamilakam, that is the northern Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, the whole of the area, it was divided into five major categories, and you need to know these names, these five major categories. Kurinji, it was the geographical area which was known for hills. Pallai, it was for dry lands. Mullai was the area for jungle. Marudam, or it can also be known as Marutam, Tam. Marutam, it was for cultivated plains, and Nadal is going to be for coast. Now, when we talk about these individual dynasties, what happens is that what are the sources of information that we have on the Cholas or on the South Indian kingdoms, that how can we say so precisely that there were these three kingdoms, or there might be other kingdoms as well, right? How can we only say that there were these three kingdoms? So here we need to know the sources of information. So when the Sangam age was there in South India, similarly there was the Mauryas who are going to be there in the North India. So in the Mauryas, what do we understand, that there was one ruler known as Ashoka. You are aware of him. Ashoka had constructed various pillars. Now, in that Ashokan pillar, there is a mention about four dynasties that rule in the South India. Four dynasties that rule in the South India. Now, these four dynasties, they were Cheras, they were Cholas, they were Pandyas. However, which is the fourth one? So, the fourth one was known as the Satya Putras. The fourth one was known as Satya Putras. Now, these four dynasties that were ruling, we have a detailed information of these three dynasties, but we cannot comprehend to where were the Satya Putras there. So according to the Ashokan pillars, there were these four dynasties that are going to be there at that point of time. Okay, there were these four dynasties that are going to be there at that point of time. All right, now here when we talk, however, we do not have that much of information about them. Moreover, there is also going to be one another person known as the particular Megasthenes. Okay, Megasthenes, he is going to give information on the kingdom of Pandyas. Megasthenes gives information on the kingdom of Pandyas, that the Pandya kingdom, it was also known as a Pearl kingdom. Pandya kingdom, it was also known as a Pearl kingdom. Okay, so this is something. Apart from that, there are various literatures that were created at that point of time, which are a part of the Sangam literature, that inform us about the socio-economic political scenario of these particular kingdoms. There are various literatures, it is covered in this particular PDF. Now, when we talk about individual of these particular dynasties, so the first dynasty that we are going to talk about is the Cheras. Now the Cheras, they were also known as Kerala Putras, and they are going to rule from their capital Vanji, which was also known as Karur. So the examination can ask both the names, that is, examination can ask both the also known as names. Examination, it can ask any of the names. Now, what do we understand here? So, the earliest ruler that we know of this particular dynasty is going to be known as Udayan Jiran. He was considered to be the earliest ruler. Now, here, it is said that this particular dynasty, now there are certain write-ups that are going to say that the Cheras, they were also the contemporary of the Mahabharata war. The Cheras, the earliest rulers of the Cheras, they were also the contemporary of the Mahabharata war, wherein it is said that there was this particular person. Okay, there was this particular person, Udayan Jiran. He is said to have fed both the armies of the Kurukshetra war. Now just imagine the 18 days Kurukshetra war. Such a massive war was it. And he is said to have fed both the armies. That means what is going to be the prosperity of this particular kingdom? Okay, belonging to the Malabar coast, what level of prosperity? And also here from South India, that particular thing needs to be transported to Kurukshetra. That means the Mahabharata war, it was fought in the North India, right? In the area of Haryana, where there is Kurukshetra, the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So the transportation. So this indicates that what is going to be the level of development that might have been there in this particular dynasty. However, these are just write-ups. We cannot historically say that they were there. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just telling that not the national history has yet, taken a concrete stance on this. But you need to know just the rulers. The examination can ask you that match the rulers with their dynasties, like that. So he was there. Then there was Nendun Jaral Adan. he is going to take the title. This is very important. The title of Imaya Varman. What Imaya Varamban? What does this title indicate? It indicates that this king, that is Nindunjara, he had Himalayas as the boundary. After him, the most important king is going to be this person, that is Sengutavan. Okay, Sengutavan, he is also known as the Red Chera or the Good Chera. Now, it was said that his particular brother, his younger brother, whose name was Elango Adigal, his younger brother, whose name is going to be Elango Adigal. Now, this Elango Adigal, what did he do is that he wrote the first epic of South India, that is Silapadi Karam. He wrote the first epic of South India, that is Silapadi Karam. Now, in this particular first epic, okay, which was known as the Jeweled Anklet, which I just told, there were a total of 3 major epics that are going to be there in South India, and the first one was Silapadi Karam. Now, this Silapadi Karam, it was also known as the Jeweled Anklet, as I already told you. Now, what is the thing? What is the story of the Jeweled Anklet? Here it is said that there are three major characters in this particular, you know, 4 major characters to be precise. The first one is Kannagi. The second one is Kovalan. The third one is going to be Madhavi. Third one was Madhavi, and the fourth one is going to be the Pandyan ruler. Pandyan ruler. Now, what happens is that here, why is the name Jeweled Anklet given to this? The reason the name Jeweled Anklet is given to this particular, storyline is because here what do we understand is that here what happens is that Kovalan and Kannagi, they were husband and wife. Kovalan was the husband, Kannagi was the wife. Now what happens is that Kannagi, she stays in the, she stays far away, and Kovalan, he was working under the Pandyan ruler. He was working at the court of Pandyan ruler. Now it is said that Kovalan had a love affair with Madhavi. It is said that there are various interpretations of the story. We cannot understand all, so I am just explaining it to you in short. There is a very big story. Okay, so Kovalan and Madhavi, they get associated, and after that Kovalan, when he goes back to his home, he decides that he is going to now stay with Kannagi. He is not going to go back to Madhavi. So once when Madhavi visits the particular Kovalan, she is going to tell him to come back, but Kovalan denies that I am not going to come back to you. At that point of time, Madhavi got very much angry. Okay, so Madhavi, when she got angry, so she asked Kovalan that why are you not coming back? So he told that I have started my own business here in the village only. So at that point of time, she inquires that how did he start a business? He did not have money. So she later on gets to know that Kannagi, she had one pair of jeweled anklet, which was very much precious. So from that one pair, she is going to give one piece to Kovalan to sell it off and to start a business. And when she gets to know on that, she goes to the particular buyer of that jeweled anklet, and she was amazed to see that that particular jeweled anklet, it was similar to the wife of the Pandyan ruler. So there she hatches up a conspiracy. So she goes back to the Pandyan kingdom. She was she was a worker in the Pandyan ruler's wife's protection. So what she did is she is going to misplace on purpose one jeweled anklet of the pair that she had, and that was a similar jeweled anklet that here also Kannagi had and even she had. Okay, so the Pandyan ruler's wife's jeweled anklet got lost, so he was very much tensed and he's going to order the search, and somewhere he gets to know that Kovalan has it, and Kovalan sold it off. So Kovalan was called on and he was murdered. He was given the death sentence without even inquiring to it that what is the truth. And later on Kannagi comes and she's going to bring her jeweled anklet, and the shopkeeper's jeweled anklet was with the king only now. So she's going to bring her also jeweled anklet, and she's going to say that you have two, I have one. Okay, you have one pair, I have only one jeweled anklet. So how can there be only 3 pieces? There has to be 4. That means 2 pairs of the jeweled anklet. So at that point of time, she is going to give a curse to the Pandyan ruler that your kingdom will burn because you, without inquiring, gave a death sentence to Kovalan, and your kingdom will burn. Okay, and then she massacred herself in the fire that was there in the Pandyan court, and after that the whole of the Pandyan kingdom burned. So that enhanced the respect of Kannagi. And then there is going to be the Kovalan and Madhavi. Okay, they had a daughter. They had a daughter. Okay, now see, the whole of this story is written in the Silapadikaram. Okay, so from there, Sengutavan, who was the brother of Ilango Adigal, he was very much fascinated with Kannagi. So what he did is he is going to create the particular temple of Kannagi. Okay, he is going to create the temple of Kannagi, and he is also going to start the Pathini cult. That meant the ideal wife worship. Okay, and Ilango Adigal is also going to mention his brother's heroic deeds that he's going to do for the woman in this particular aspect. Okay, so that was is the voice yet not clear, guys? Is the voice yet not clear? Rahul, Jairam is telling the voice is not clear. Kindly confirm that, please. So here, just keep these things in mind. Whatever I have told, just keep these things in mind. Okay, just keep these things in mind. All right. Okay, so that is going to be there. That is going to be there. Okay, now, all right. So here, this was the scenario. Okay, this was the scenario at that point of time. All right. Now, when we talk on the daughter, okay, so the daughter, she was named as Mani Mekhlai. Mani Mekhlai, the daughter was named as Mani Mekhlai, and on the daughter Mani Mekhlai, okay, whatever life she was living, okay, and here her life was very much hardsome. So the story of her life is written in the second epic that is known as Mani Mekhlai. The life of her is written in the second epic, which is known as Mani Mekhlai. Okay, so that is going to be there. So are you guys understanding? Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to tell you? Their names are too complicated. Yes, but the PDF I have uploaded, if you just go through it, if you just keep that in mind, it will be easier for you. Do not worry. Do not worry. If you just read this PDF multiple times, it is going to be easier for you guys. Okay, so that is there. Now yet the names are going to become much more complicated. Do not worry on that, but you will, it is easier if you just understand the storyline, if you just keep that particular thing in mind, and if you just revise this document twice or thrice, it will become very much easier for you. Okay, then the next capital is going to be, the next dynasty is going to be the Cholas. Now when we talk on the Cholas here, what do we understand on the Cholas is that the Cholas here, they were the Sangam Cholas. Okay, they were the Sangam Cholas. They were one of the powerful dynasties that were prevalent at that point of time in that area. Now when we talk about these powerful dynasties, what do we know is that in the Sangam Cholas, there were two major rulers. One of the earliest ruler was known as Elara, Elara. Now, when we talk about Elara, he is said to have conquered the Sri Lanka, and it is done somewhere around 235 BC. And on this particular conquest, there is the write-up that was, written in the Mahavamsa. It is going to be a Buddhist literary text. It is a Buddhist literary text. Okay, Mahavamsa. Here it is going to write on the Ilara's attack on Sri Lanka. Now, after Ilara, after some time, there is going to be another most important ruler whose name is going to be Karikala. You have heard on the name Karikala. Okay, so he was also known as a man with a charred leg. Man with a charred leg. Now, the reason charred is because the king Karikala, he had a lot of deformities on his body. Yet he didn't allow that deformities to stop him to become a powerful king. Okay, so he had one leg distorted, he had one hand distorted, there were various scars on his body and all, but yet he did not stop there. Okay, so what he's going to do is that he is going to, you know, attack the particular area of Sri Lanka, and he is also going to capture it. So, like Elara, he is also going to conquer Sri Lanka. Now, at that point of time, what happened is this person, he was very much, means apart from territorial conquest, he was very much also into the welfare of the people. And because we know that in South India, the only perennial river that is the Kaveri river. Apart from that, the other rivers, they are what, seasonal rivers. They do not have waters all around the year, so it is only the Kaveri. So what happens is that because of that, because of the seasonality of water availability, here the people of South India, they were majorly agriculturalists, so they were not having that good of a production. So what he does is he is going to construct the Kalanai Dam. Okay, he is going to construct the Kalanai Dam, which was basically a river embankment on the river Kaveri. He is going to create that embankment, and that embankment is going to be later on known as Karaikala Dam. This was there. Moreover, this person, he also focused on trade activities. Okay, he also focused on trade activities, so he is going to develop the coastal areas and the trading aspect. All right. So now one important thing I want to tell you is that he was the, now see, there are various storylines. We will not go on the storylines. We'll keep it strictly for your examination aspect. Means even if I tell you the story and if it is not exam oriented, so it is waste. At the end, our aim is what? Our aim is to clear the examinations. And I am not here to just tell you stories, or just to make or just to make you feel good, or the class is interesting. No, you need to understand the classes are interesting and also factual. Okay, and not only interesting classes help you clear the examination, but sometimes it is the boring aspect also that helps you clear the examination. So in spite of interesting or boring, you just need to stick, okay, to what the examination demand is. All right. So here, when we talk on this, just remember he was the capital of the Chola dynasty. It is going to be known as Kaveri Pattanam. Kaveri Pattanam, it was a coastal area, it was a coastal port. Okay, so Kaveri Pattanam, it is going to be also known as Puhar, also known as Pumpuhar, also known as Pumpuhar. Okay, so there were three names of Kaveri Patnam, the port which was there for the Chola dynasty. There is Puhar, Pumpuhar, and this. Okay, sorry, Urayur was the. Okay, Urayur is going to be also the major city that was there at that point of time. Examination will ask you all these things. Okay, so Kaveri Patnam, also known as Puhar, also known as Pumpuhar, was an important port, and here the other name is going to be Arikamedu. Arikamedu. Now, Arikamedu in the modern day time, you can call it to be as Pondicherry, or Pondicherry or Puducherry. You might have known, you know Puducherry, right, in the South India. So it is going to be there. All right. So this was the Cholas. Okay. Now, after that, when we talk the next dynasty, it is going to be the Pandyas. Okay. Now, what do we know about the Pandyas? Their important port is Korkai. Examination will ask you match the following ports with their dynasties. So Korkai was here, Pumpuhar was the Cholas. Okay, the Pumpuhar is going to be of the Cholas. Then there is going to be the Muzuri or Muziri, 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 or Muzuri. That port is going to be of the particular the Cheras. Okay, the Cheras. So Muziri, Kaveri Pattanam, and Korkai. Remember this. Okay. Now here when we talk this, the ruler that I told you about, the Pandyan ruler in association with Kannagi, his name was Nendun Jallian. So this particular Nendun Jallian, he is known for the curse of Kannagi. After him there is Irumporai. Now what happens is that when we talk about these, when we talk about the Cholas, okay, the Cholas had very elaborate trading relations with the Western counterparts. And it is said that, means Western counterparts, that means if I just tell you the timeline. So the Cholas, they were from 3rd century BC till approximately 3rd century AD. Okay. But when we talk about the Europeans, so with the Europeans, these people, the Cholas, or the South, sorry, the Pandyas had elaborate trading relations. So the South, from the South Indian dynasties, we can say that from 1st century BC to 1st century AD, they are going to have elaborate trading relations with the European counterparts. European counterparts, that means Roman civilizations. Rome, okay, the Rome or the Roman civilization. So they had elaborate trading relations, and we'll know that now. We'll know that now. Okay. Now, why am I telling that they had elaborate trading relations? Because there were certain, you know, Roman coins which have been found in Coimbatore and Madurai, in Coimbatore, okay, in Madurai. Then all there was a prevalent trade route that was there in the Red Sea, okay, which is there near the Egypt and Saudi Arabia and the western coast of South India, that is Kerala Putras and the Cheras. They were also known as Kerala Putras and Pandyas. So the trade route was already established. Apart from that, Roman coins were already found. Moreover, there were certain literatures that were of the Roman people. Certain Greek and Roman literatures have been found wherein there was a person known as Strabo. He writes that embassies were sent by the Pandyas to the court of Augustus. And when was it? It was in the 1st century BC. Apart from that, there is Pliny. Pliny, he is saying that the Romans, they are going to import various type of luxury products from the particular South India. Now for them, what was the luxury product? It is going to be the particular, spices, the raw materials. For them, the luxury products was that. All right, and they are also going to send something, but because of their importing of such, precious items, the Pliny is going to say that there is going to be the financial drain which is going to be caused. So the examination will ask you this, and he is also going to talk about the Tamil ports. Now one another homework that I give you is that what are going to be the Greek names of the ports that I have told you. Okay, so there were various Greek names that are going to be there of the ports that I have written here. So just search on Google Greek names of Indian ports during the Sangam Age, okay, or during the pre-Christian era. So just find that, and you'll get a list of names. So you need to also refer to that. So from here what we can see is that there were elaborate trading relations that were there between the Pandyas and the western counterparts. Now this thing will be asked to you, who sent embassies to the court of Roman Emperor Augustus? So it is Irumporai, and Irumporai also performed Vedic sacrifices. There was one Pandyan ruler Nedion who started the worship of sea. Who started the worship of sea. All right, so that is there. Now, when we talk about Sangam Age, one important thing I want to tell you. Okay, now when we talk about Sangam Age, okay, during the Sangam Age, when we talk about the Sangam literature, so the whole of Sangam literature is going to be divided into two groups. As I've already explained, it is Mel Kannaku and Kil Kannaku. So this Mel Kannaku, okay, the Mel Kannaku is narrative. Okay, see the Mel Kannaku, which is 18 major works, it is narrative in nature. Narrative, that means it is a story-like aspect. Okay, it talks about the real situations that were prevalent in the particular society, polity, economy of that time period. It informs us about things. Okay, so that is Mil Kannaku. Whereas Kil Kannaku, which meant minor works, it is didactic in nature. Kil Kannaku is narrative in nature. Mel Kannaku is narrative in nature. Kil Kannaku is didactic in nature. What does didactic mean? Didactic means that the didactic is going to mean that it is going to, the didactic, it means that it is going to be a moral of the story kind. In the school you might have heard, right? This is a story, and what is the moral of the story? That is what is didactic. So the whole of the Tamil literature is divided into these, okay, and the various works, they are a part of these. They are a part either of Mil Kannaku, either of Kil Kannaku. Okay, so the examination will not go that deep, but it will be asking at this level. Now one another important thing is that the Sangam Age, there was a lot of poetry which was written. So the Sangam poetry, it can be divided into two categories. One is Akam, one is Puram. Okay, Akam, Puram, Akam, Puram, Akam, Puram. Now why am I doing this? Akam means the Akam poems deals with something that is interior to a human. It deals with something that is interior to a human. That means the feelings, the emotions, the values, okay, the various, levels what a human might feel inside. So love will be a poem. So those poems, they are Akam poems. Whereas Puram poems, they are something that is associated with the outside world. That means society, polity, military aspect, caste aspect, religious prevalence, rituals. So whatever was prevalent in the society, that when poems on those things were written, it was known as Puram poems. So Akam poems that dealt with inner things, Puram poems that dealt with outer things. So that is going to be there. Examination will definitely ask this to you. Okay, so there is this particular type. Now I have told you on Silpadikaram, I have told you on Mani Meklai, it was written by Sitalai Satana. Then there is Jivaga Chintamani, it was the third epic which was written by Jaina Tirukutta Devar, which was written by Tirukutta Devar, and this particular Jivaga Chintamani has Sivaga or Jivaka as a hero. Then there are various works, that is Thirukural or Kural, it was written by Thiruvallavur. It is known as the Bible of the Tamil land. Agatiyam, written by Agathiyar, earliest Tamil grammar book. Roman king built a temple of Augustus at Muziri. Where is Muziri port? It is in Kerala. Okay. Then Murugan, he was the god. Okay, 5 gods. These were the things that were exported to the Romans. The examination will ask this. So like that, what I have done is I have added things up here. Okay, and like this, what you can do is you can go through this particular aspect. Now, when we see that such elaborate things were there, so obviously we can correlate the economy of that point also, that their economy, okay, these particular people, their economy, it was also very much developed at that point of time. Now that developed economy, it can be associated with the idea that, okay, they had trading relations, but along with trading they did a lot of trade, but along with trading these people, they are also going to focus on the internal aspect, that means agriculture and the other primary activities. Okay, so if these people are doing both agriculture and trading, that means they have a good economy, right? So when they have agriculture and trading both happening, and if they want to sustain that thing to happen, so they'll have to maintain law and order, they'll have to maintain the good political administration and everything. But in order to sustain a good political administration, you will also have to pay them salaries. And the king ain't gonna pay the salaries from his own pocket. So obviously then there is going to be a devisement of a tax system, that the trade, businesses, production and other aspects, they are going to be taxed. And when they were taxed, the tax money was used for the maintenance of law and order and administration. So with this we can understand that there was a developed state system also during this point of time, because only when there is a developed state system. Now what do I mean by developed state system? I mean that in today's time, what do we see? There is administration, maintenance of law and order, finances are managed. If you have issues, then you have resolution, welfare is there. So like that only, if for such an economy to thrive, the requirement was the maintenance of a good politico-administrative system. That means a state system. So we can interpret that the Sangam Age dynasties, they had a very good state system. Okay, so that is what we can understand. Now these are various excavations that tell us that how these people, they were so advanced in nature. Now what are the things? The various agricultural techniques prevailed at that point of time, such as irrigation. So irrigation remnants say that these people were advanced. Reservoirs were there, ring wells were there, and charred seeds. So it is not directly raw seeds are put, but some charred seeds, some burnt levels, some developed seeds were grown so that production could increase. So that is what, again, agricultural development. So this was there. Then we also find excavations of textile industry, such as spinning works, cotton seeds, remains of woven cotton cloth at Madurai and Udaipur and Uraiyur. Okay. Then we also find discovery of metallurgy, that is blast furnace, anvil and slag. So along with iron, blacksmiths also worked on steel, lead, copper and bronze. So just look at the development that is there. So from this, what we can understand, that they had a well developed economy. And when they have a well developed economy, in order to manage that, what happened is they had taxes. Okay, Karkai, Sugam, Irai. And based on this taxes, all these particular thing was managed. Now this is the information that we have on Tamil. Okay, so you can go through this. You can go through this. All right, the rest is easy. Okay, so here I have also written things up. Muzuri was also known as Kodungalur. Muziri was also known as Kodungalur. Muziri was also known as Kodungalur. All right, so did you understand, my dear friends? Did you understand, everybody? Did you understand, my dear friends? Okay, so we'll keep this much for this particular session, everyone, and I will take up the the part 2 of the South Indian kingdoms, wherein we shall be discussing on the Pallavas and the Chalukyas and the later on Cholas in the next session. All right, okay, so then we'll keep this much for this session. Thank you, all of you, my dear friends, and whatever I have just told you, just read that, and the documents I've already uploaded, so you can find them and you can also read that. All right, so I'll see you up in the next session. Okay, take care, everybody, study well. Thank you, and Jai Hind, my dear friends. Bye bye, guys. Bye. Take care, everyone. Bye, guys.